Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Nathan Barnes. Welcome to the course tour for New Testament history at Wayland Baptist University, winter 2013. This is the home page. It's the weekly assignments. Up here at the top is my favorite picture of a philosopher, and he's holding a scroll, and he's teaching his disciples that include two women. One is his wife, and one is a female disciple. I did my dissertation on women in philosophy in 1 Corinthians. It will be published soon as a book. Just finished that with my editor, so it'll be out soon. Anyway, I wanted to show you how to operate the course whenever you are wanting to learn. Okay, here we go. First is announcements up here, the announcements link. You can view old announcements. They're going to be in reverse chronological order. So when I make the announcement for this video, it's going to go on top, and then you can go down if you forget about something. And then instructor information, it has my information, Dr. Nathan Barnes, and I'm wearing a TCU hat. I'm a TCU grad, and I'm also a Wayland graduate. Dr. Paul Sadler, the beloved Dr. Sadler, was one of my professors at Wayland whenever I was a student, and now he's a bigwig, dean of the School of Religion and Philosophy. And then we have course information, which is blank. I don't know why that's there. And the course content is also blank. I think that's just to help people like me build a course that I can do that. Discussion board is a collection of all the discussions. This is like a master document where you can click on it week by week, or you can go to weekly assignments and it has the link to the week's discussion if you would rather do it there. You know, a lot of people I've found out, this is the first time apparently using a computer. So I tried to put everything in one spot, even though you have to create it in different areas. So I've created, for example, on this page, I created all of the discussion board questions, and whenever you click on it, this is what it looks like. I start discussions each week with a question. I have 3 different questions that you can choose from. Usually, one student on a Wednesday will choose one question, and everybody else will talk about it. You can either do this, click on one of these and address it, or you can create your own thread. You can ask your own questions. So, sometimes other things are on your mind. I accidentally clicked on Judaism and Christianity, and you would just write your response. It's a little difficult at first if you are not used to it, but you'll get the hang of it soon, and it becomes a lot easier. So that's for week 1. In the syllabus, I explain in detail what to do in all these links. I have this right here you're viewing my edition of Blackboard, so you see stuff that I've deleted. I had a failed create your own final and create your own midterm exam project for extra credit, and some people did it, but it wasn't a hit, so I'm not doing it anymore. Unless you want to come up with questions for the final exam, email them to me. I'll give you extra credit. So anyway, you'll see that's all the weeks of the course. Okay, we just got through with discussion board. Tools, we don't need that. VC Help Desk, that's a virtual campus help desk. Click on that if you have trouble using Blackboard. And then there's a Wayland Library, which everybody should go to often. Please introduce yourself. Now this is the first thing that you need to do in the course. I'm going to click on that, and all you do is click on introduce yourself here, and you create a thread. This was done by me, so I'm going to make that a little more obvious. Cannot do that for some reason. Okay, I guess not. This is mine. Create a thread and add yourself to the class, and I've created my thread. So everybody do that, and you'll see that I have my picture here. What you do is you go up here to the right, click on your name, and then if I can remember this. Yeah, you click on this little gray thing. It'll be gray for you if you don't have your picture. You click on that and then upload your picture. Piece of cake. You'll see a little gray guy here. If this is you, change your picture, and then I don't care if you upload a panda bear, just as long as it's something other than that gray thing. It looks so dead. So, excuse me. Okay, I gotta find you guys again. And we're waiting for Blackboard to download. Okay, please introduce yourself. Please do that. We're going to be discussing a lot during the term, and it's good to know just a little bit about the people that you're talking to. And that way, if you're a 20-year veteran of the Army, you're not getting insulted by someone, hopefully, who says something bad about the Army. If we at least know something, I know that's a terrible example, but you know what I'm saying. We need to know just a little bit about each other so we can get along. So please introduce yourself. Okay, this will be your midterm. Whenever it's this little X box thing means that you can't see it on your edition, but that's what that is. I will be making that live at the appropriate time. Course tour is what you're doing now. Syllabus. I have a syllabus video that I've made just a few minutes ago. It'll be posted right there in the syllabus explanation. Please familiarize yourself with the syllabus. It's very important. We have 2 very long breaks during this term for Christmas and for Thanksgiving, so you need to know what's coming up in the course. Study tips. I created this thread a couple of semesters ago because people were a little bit in shock whenever they read Metzger. Now Metzger wrote this book for college students on your level, but he wrote it for college students at Princeton who were taking courses in the 70s. So it uses language that's a little bit harder to understand than what a professor would do nowadays. But it's still very, very good. And like I said, Metzger, and like I said in the syllabus video, Metzger is a very important person in New Testament scholarship. He was one of the few who could read most of the New Testament fragments. The New Testament is really pretty and nice whenever you look at it now in the NIV. You turn the page and everything is together. But actually, the New Testament is a collection of texts. It's a collection. I don't mean like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John collection. There are fragments, which is little bitty pieces of text that are pieced together painstakingly by scholars like Metzger. And he made a very significant impact in how the New Testament is put together for us. So that's why we're reading his work. Now, I made a video that explains all of this, but please read this study material on how to study. I'm not just making this stuff up. I learned this stuff from people like Ray Tahiri whenever I first started college, and it really helps. It even helps me today when I read Metzger because even I've read a lot of stuff. Metzger's hard for me to read sometimes, but it's still very, very good material. Okay, syllabus, study tips, weekly assignments. Probably the most important of the links, because what I do here is there are 6 elements to every assignment. And what I do is I give you links to every component. This take personal notes, well, that comes from the lecture notes link, and I'll show you that. You see week 1 notes, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, and I went ahead and posted all the way to week 10. Now, whenever you click on that, this is my version, so it has a lot more stuff than you need to see. But I click on the Take Personal Notes, and it goes back to that link. And I just click on that. And if you have a Mac, it'll do that little stupid little thing. And there it is, week 1 lecture notes. And the lecture notes are designed for you to take notes while you're listening to the lecture. And you can modify this any way you want, and you type in your notes. Okay, we are on. We've gone through most of these. We went to the weekly assignments that has it has a lecture first, and then it has the date for the looks like I didn't update that date there. Okay, this is updated. 11/17/13 is the date that the week 1 assignments are due. So you have the week 1, the date, the learning objective, the lecture, and then you have what you need to be reading, taking personal notes, link to the reading review for that week that you need to complete, and then click on the discussion area, and then finally your blog. Now your blog post is yours. Just reflect on what you learned in the week, and it needs to be about 100 words. So usually the blogs are the best part of the course, in my opinion, and students don't read them because I don't require it, but please read each other's blogs. That's usually a very, very good part of the course. So you saw in the weekly assignments, there is the weekly blog, the lecture notes, the reading reviews, and the discussion is up here. And why is it up there? Well, Waylon put it there. So I'm going to move it down. So you see in a row everything that you need to do for the term, or for the course. And there are timelines for the midterm. I ask questions on these timelines. There are only 3 or 4 of them. They have accompanying videos that you need to watch and listen to. There are different ones. There's one on the timeline of early Christianity. There's one on New Testament backgrounds, early Christian writings, which is very cool. And then these 2 down here are optional: a chronology of the Apostolic Age and Alexander the Great's timeline. Actually, number 4 is on the midterm because that is chapter 5, basically. I mean, week 5. And no lecture on Alexander the Great. That's just for fun, because we like Alexander the Great. Okay, YouTube videos is where I'm going to post extra stuff. Like if I have a video response to questions asked in the discussion area, I will do that in the YouTube videos area. I'll make an announcement, but this is where I will store the video. So here I have a lecture on Ephesus, and what I do is I take you through pictures that tour guides have taken, or tourists have taken, of Ephesus, and I explain to you what's happening in the pictures. Basically, like this guy, this is a latrine. I say, well, this is where the latrine is in the city. I did a lot of research on Ephesus whenever I was in my PhD program, and that's where it comes from. On week 6, there is a lecture on patronage and friendship. This is extra because a lot of people don't get it whenever I explain it in the lecture. So I will have this ready for you in written form and also video form. So it's only 8 minutes, so that's that. We've already talked about the Wayland Library. There's a couple links to that on this page. Any questions? It's a place for you to ask me questions. This is basically, it's an off-topic forum. You know how, if you're in a class, traditional classroom, professor will be talking, you'll have a question, and you can't really ask it during the lecture. Well, after the lecture, you go and talk to the professor, or maybe you talk to the professor before class if you have something you need to talk about. This is that time for you. If you have questions for me that don't quite, you can't quite work it into the lecture, to the discussion, you don't want to put it in your blog, you just need to ask. This is where you contact me for questions like that, at least through Blackboard. You can always email me. Student feedback is just what it sounds like. Click on that. I have my Have You Read the New Testament lecture. This is a survey on Have You Read the New Testament. And site feedback is student feedback. You're always welcome to tell me what's going on in the course. Itty bitty wiki. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a little bitty tiny wiki. It's only 3 short articles on things that students ask me about often. So I try to address that in a way you can come here and read it. I'm happy to specifically answer a question, but this is here for you if you want it. And then New Testament links. There's a few links that I think are very, very important in studying the New Testament. We've already seen, I think, Casey Hansen's website, Perseus Digital Library. I'll tell you a little bit about it. Like there's only 4 links here that I thought were worthy of mention. Of course, there's a big old world out there, and a lot of things are good. So I will be adding it to some stuff I couldn't see a second ago. John Dominic Crossan, Jesus Seminar, Religious Tolerance is a really good website. It's so good, in fact, that students have copied from this website in my midterm and final exams. So don't do that. Anyway, that's the course. Welcome once again. Excuse me. Welcome once again. I look forward to getting to know you a little bit during this course, and I hope you learn a lot. Thanks.